This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this June 24th. Today, the U.S. Senate is expected to vote on a police reform bill put forward by Indiana Senator Mike Braun. What the legislation could mean for officers across the country.
More states across America are seeing spikes in COVID-19 cases, where Indiana stands amid warnings of a second wave.
And Indianapolis Public Schools is working on plans for the upcoming school year. What parents say they want the district to do to keep kids safe this fall. But first, here at 5 o'clock, we need to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. Todd Clossett is standing by from home right now. And Todd, I'm looking forward to getting out for maybe a walk today with the more comfortable temperatures.
Yeah, you know, and that's a great thing to do. Get outside, enjoy the sunshine and the low humidity. Anytime in the summer where you can get these days where the temperatures aren't too hot and the humidity is low, you have to take advantage of. And I'm planning on getting outside as well and playing a little golf this afternoon. So what do you need to grab before you go? Well, make sure you have the sunscreen. Absolutely. The sun still obviously at one of its strongest levels throughout the entire year after we just went through the summer solstice on Saturday. So you have to wear that sunscreen. Burn time is probably only about 10 to 15 minutes today. Have the sunglasses handy and then drink plenty of water as well. Temperatures this morning are in the 60s and even some 50s to the north. 64 in Bloomington, 59 in Peru right now. Logansport, Kokomo, and Frankfort at 59 degrees as well, and Marion sitting at 57. So it's a very comfortable morning for us with a mainly clear sky throughout the day today. Skies will be mostly sunny with just a small chance later on this evening of a stray shower. If you did see it, would be very light, but don't let that hamper any of the outdoor plans that you may have. As we get into the weekend, there are some changes that are heading our way. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in just a little bit. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic for your commute. This is I-465 and East 56th Street on the northeast side of town. Traffic is moving along up to speed both northbound and southbound. We'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays to slow down your Wednesday commute. At 5:02, after weeks of protests demanding action against police brutality, today the United States Senate is expected to vote on a police reform bill.
The legislation was introduced by Indiana Senator Mike Braun, and this morning our Kelsey Anderson explains what this potential reform could mean for you and for police officers.
Well, qualified immunity is a 50-year-old doctrine that protects police officers from civil lawsuits. Some say even when a citizen's rights have been violated. According to federal law enforcement training centers, qualified immunity allows officers to perform their duties without constant fear of having to defend themselves against unjustified claims. They go on to say that qualified immunity allows the public to recover damages when an unreasonable officer violated their rights. They say qualified immunity is designed to protect everyone except those who blatantly violate the law. Critics of qualified immunity say the shield makes it nearly impossible for those who feel they have been wronged to sue for damages. Some Senate leaders want to abolish qualified immunity completely, but Senator Braun says he thinks it just needs to be reformed. Braun's legislation would strip out the clearly established law requirement and instead say the only way you are immune is if there is a state or federal law that says what happened is legal. Braun says this reform will make it easier for the public to win lawsuits. We reached out to Indy's Fraternal Order of Police, and although they say they have not heard from the senator, they are looking forward to reviewing his proposal and sharing their thoughts with him if given the opportunity. The FOP went on to say that in the meantime, they will continue to protect and serve the communities that they were called to. Again, that vote is today, and of course, we will always keep you updated. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Now to the latest on the pandemic. More than 300 more cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in Indiana. The State Department of Health also has reported 14 new deaths. A total of 2,377 Hoosiers died from the virus. More than 42,800 cases have been reported in the state since the pandemic began. 426,000 people have been tested so far, with about 10% of those coming back positive.
Well, the nation's top health experts warn about a disturbing surge in COVID-19 infections. They testified before Congress on Tuesday as new numbers show a rise in hospitalizations in at least 21 states. ABC's Alex Boucher has the very latest on this surge.
a major message for the country.
Right now, the next couple of weeks are going to be critical.
Our top doctors warning Congress they are preparing for a possible coronavirus resurgence.
We're now seeing a disturbing surge of infections.
This fall and winter is going to be difficult, and we need to be prepared for it.
Their assessment backed by troubling numbers. COVID-19 hospitalizations are rising in 21 states, and the rate of positive cases is rising in 23. Texas hit a record Tuesday, nearly 5,500 cases. Governor Abbott, who resisted issuing a stay-at-home order early on, now says home is the safest place to be. Cases have surged in Florida, too. The governor is blaming overcrowded bars and restaurants for the state's recent uptick.
It's packed to the rafters. That's just cut and dry, and that's not just an innocent mistake.
In Yakima, Washington, hospitals are transferring patients and running short on staff. The state will mandate face coverings starting Friday.
It is imperative that we adopt further measures to protect us all. We just cannot wish this virus to go away.
Cases are increasing in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina as well. Still, the shores there are packed with tourists.
Oh, we're having fun, not worrying about it, and enjoying the weather.
And in Phoenix yesterday, thousands filled this megachurch to see President Trump. No social distancing, just a fraction wearing masks.
The person feels like they don't need to wear a mask. I don't think that they should be forced to wear a mask.
Much of Europe is now reopening, and the European Union is now debating a travel ban list. An EU official tells ABC News that included in that debate is whether or not to allow non-essential travel from the U.S. Alex Berchet, ABC News, Washington.
We are learning more about what the school year could look like for Indianapolis public schools amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The district releasing preliminary results of a survey issued to parents. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning at IPS headquarters with the details. Alyssa, what have school officials learned so far?
Well, Meredith, IPS leaders say that there are many factors to consider when it comes to making that decision about returning kids to the classroom in the fall. And when it comes to making that decision, they want community input right now so that they can have all the details in order to make the best possible decision when it comes to that. Which is why so far IPS has received more than 4,400 responses from families in a survey they put out. That's representing about 27% of their student population. Around 1/3 of respondents say they have someone living in their home who is considered at risk for complications from COVID. That same number said they would choose e-learning if the district made it available full-time. The superintendent says they're working to make sure every student has access to a device and internet hotspot if they need it. She says they're trying to find the best way to provide a quality education while keeping kids safe.
There is no lack of complexities when thinking about how you do school when schools have been structured really to maximize efficiencies, maximize collaboration, maximize partnerships, and children being in groups and talking with each other. And now we're having a plan for essentially the opposite.
While creating classroom re-entry plans, the Indiana Department of Education is advising to follow CDC guidelines and work with their local health departments. And if you'd like to participate in that IPS survey, you can still do that until Friday. We have a link for that attached to this story on our website, theindychannel.com. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is dedicated to connecting you to new job opportunities, and FedEx is bringing 1,000 more jobs right here to Central Indiana. The company is in the process of opening a new building at Indianapolis International Airport. Those hired will work at the new facility, unloading packages after they're removed from planes or operating equipment that moves the packages. Day and overnight shifts are available. The positions are part-time and the pay starts at $16.12 per hour. You can find a link to apply to those jobs right on our website. Just go to hiringhoosiers.com.
The Rebound Indiana is working to connect small businesses with the resources they need to help make ends meet during the coronavirus pandemic. The Small Business Administration says more money is available from the Paycheck Protection Program, but time is running out to apply. Small businesses looking for relief can receive some of the federal funding made available to help keep Hoosiers employed. $128 billion is still up for grabs. We talked with the district director of SBA Indiana, Stacy Pointer. He says it's now easier than ever to get a PPP loan forgiven.
Now, when you're looking at the forgiveness piece of it, because remember, these can be 100% forgiven as long as now 60% of the proceeds were used for payroll, and you can look at a 24-week payroll period. So that's really expanding the use of proceeds to be able to be forgiven.
The deadline is June 30th, but Pointer recommends getting your application into your lender as soon as you can to give them time to process it.
While many restaurants struggle to stay open during this difficult time, one local group is celebrating a grand opening. A new Brew Burger bar is now open for business at Keystone at the Crossing on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It's the 11th location. The original Brew Burger bar is on Mass Ave. Craig Morris, general manager of the new restaurant, says COVID-19 has, of course, created some challenges, but loyal customers are making the process easier.
Opening a brand new restaurant, which is already challenging enough, and then so we have 50%, 75% as you're doing social distancing. So we're delighted that we have a good brand and good support from the community, and that's certainly helping us.
The new Brew Burger opened on Monday. The chain is owned by Cunningham Restaurant Group, which is based here in Indianapolis. All right, if you're thinking of heading out maybe for lunch or dinner today, it's going to be a great day to even sit outside and social distance a little bit, Todd.
Yeah, absolutely. I sat outside at the Brew Burger location on Mass Ave last night. So good food as always. So it's nice to see them expanding as well. And yeah, maybe it's just your backyard today. You'll be in great shape no matter where you want to eat. As today is going to be a nice, comfortable day for us. Here's a live look outside right now. And you can see as you look past Lucas Oil Stadium there off towards the southwest, as skies are mainly clear this morning. And we'll enjoy plenty of sunshine as you get going. As the temperatures are very comfortable this morning as well. We're in the 60s in most locations, a couple of you in the upper 50s, but we'll warm very quickly once the sun comes up. We'll expand out into the far north. You could barely see it near Omaha. There's a few spotty showers. So despite there being a lot of sunshine in the forecast for the day today, can't completely rule out the chance of a very, very stray shower this afternoon, but definitely don't plan on it. You're definitely going to see more sunshine than anything today. Humidity remains low and highs get close to 80 degrees in many locations, topping 80 degrees to the west and to the south. We'll talk more about your extended forecast in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you. The FBI says that a suspected noose found in NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace's garage was not a hate crime. Their findings and what Wallace is saying about that investigation.
And after a frustrating primary for many Hoosier voters, election organizers are looking toward November. How one organization is trying to make the polling process easier for you in your election. We'll be right back.
All New Don't, Thursday on ABC.
After more than 3 months, one of the officers involved in the death of Breonna Taylor has been fired. Louisville police say they fired Detective Brett Hankinson after an internal investigation found he violated the department's use of deadly force rules. Hankinson shot 26-year-old Taylor inside her Louisville home while serving a no-knock warrant. Police were looking for a narcotics suspect that did not live there. No drugs were found in Taylor's home either. The 2 other officers involved are currently on administrative reassignment. A lawyer for Taylor's family is fighting for the fired officer to now be charged.
The FBI says NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace was not the victim of a hate crime after a noose was found in his garage at the Talladega Motor Speedway on Sunday. The FBI says the noose has been there since fall of last year, and it was tied that way to use as a garage door pull. It is shown in this video posted on YouTube in November by a fan during a garage experience tour. Since Wallace, who was the only black driver in NASCAR, was only assigned to the space last week, the investigation says whoever put it there was not targeting him. Wallace reacted to the findings with an interview with CNN.
I've been racing all my life. We've raced out of hundreds of garages that never had garage pools like that. So people that want to call it a garage pool and put out old videos and photos of knots being in their as their evidence, go ahead. But from the evidence that we have, and that I have, it's a straight up noose.
NASCAR released a statement saying, quote, "We appreciate the FBI's quick and thorough investigation and are thankful to learn this was not an intentional racist act against Bubba." After the rope was found, NASCAR pledged to ban the person responsible from the sport. Fellow drivers also showed support for Wallace walking along his car before the race on Monday.
A fire sparked in Arizona yesterday afternoon is now threatening dozens of homes. Evacuations were issued after the Aquila brush fire spread across thousands of acres in North Phoenix. At last check, firefighters say they stopped the fire's forward progress. Investigators are still working to determine how the blaze started. Here at 5:18, let's check in with meteorologist Todd Clausen to see what's happening weather-wise in central Indiana.
You know, Meredith, it's pretty quiet here, and that's kind of the way we like it, right? We have no humidity around today, so it's very comfortable. We'll have plenty of sunshine, and temperatures will be hovering right around 80 degrees as you get going on this Wednesday morning. Here's a live look outside right now, and we are looking off to the west, and you can see the sky starting to brighten just a little bit. Official sunrise is just about an hour away, and look at these temperatures this morning. Really, really comfortable. 59 in Tipton as well as Peru, 56 in Crawfordsville, 62 in Martinsville, and Bloomington currently sitting at 64 degrees. So if you want to get a morning run or bike ride in, you will be in great shape here as we get going. If you want to wait till later on this afternoon, it's not bad at all. We'll have plenty of sunshine throughout the day today. Satellite radar picture is pretty quiet right now. There is one little disturbance up to the north, and I'll slide up a little bit for you, and I'll circle it because it's so small to see on your screen, and that's right here near Minneapolis. There's just a very broken line of showers that are going to be sliding down to the south throughout the course of the day today, and that will give us the opportunity for a stray shower. So basically, we're going to be dealing with mostly sunny skies, but there will be the chance of a stray shower later on this afternoon. As you see on TrueCast, they'll probably flare up around 5, 6 o'clock, but you also notice how isolated they are, and they're going to be very light as well. So definitely don't curtail your plans around these showers. Carry on with anything that you do have, and if you're unfortunate and you get caught in one of these quick passing showers, it's not going to last very long. It is not going to soak the grounds. In fact, they'll probably barely get the ground wet, and then it'll just move on. So just don't be shocked if you see a sprinkler or two this afternoon, but otherwise enjoy the sunshine and all the temperatures, and temperatures will warm pretty quickly once the sun comes up. We're looking at highs today and generally between about 78 and 81 degrees across the area. This evening, if you have plans, absolutely terrific. Find a patio. Maybe it's in your backyard or at a restaurant across central Indiana. Temperatures in the 70s with partly cloudy skies. The wind not an issue today either. Yesterday got a little breezy there in the afternoon. Today that is not an issue. Temperatures tomorrow morning very similar to today in the 60s. And then as we go forward in this forecast, tomorrow mostly sunny skies. A little bit warmer, temperatures into the low 80s. The humidity still, though, remains very low throughout the day tomorrow. The humidity, though, will surge going into the weekend, especially once we get to Saturday and Sunday with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. With the humidity will come the chance of some scattered storms in the forecast. Could be a stray storm on Monday, but otherwise partly cloudy. And look for a temperature both Monday and Tuesday to be right around 87 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is a look at I-70 a little west of FedEx. Everything's moving along up to speed both eastbound and westbound. A change this morning for your commute. We've had that eastbound I-70 closure between Ronald Reagan Parkway and the South Split downtown for about a month now. That was set to reopen over the weekend, but it has reopened already in the overnight hours. So eastbound and westbound lanes of I-70 to our west are open right now. We will have a westbound closure in that same area the end of this week. We'll keep you updated on that long-term project, but for now it is looking pretty good out there to our west for your Wednesday drive.
Well, the general election is 5 months away. Problems during primaries across the country and right here in Indiana have some people worried about how they're going to vote. Long lines were the norm at many polling places here in Marion County. Because of the pandemic, only 22 in-person polling locations were open compared to the usual 200. With these issues in mind, the League of Women Voters of Indianapolis are working to help people make the process easier.
We have stressed that folks need to have an election plan put together before they ever go to the polls. And I think this upcoming general election, that is going to be the most important thing people can do.
An election plan for you could include making sure you have enough time to wait at an in-person polling place or use an absentee ballot. The deadline to request those is October 22nd.
It is 5:22. The second of 3 presidential debates is being moved to Florida. The debate's original host, the University of Michigan, backed out due to the coronavirus concerns. It will now be held at the Adrian Arsh Center for Performing Arts in Miami on October 15th. The first debate between President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden will be held in Indiana at the University of Notre Dame. That's scheduled for September 29th. A famous opera house in Spain had their first concert since the pandemic, but the seats weren't filled with people. Why? The venue was packed with plants. That story's after the break.
Our professional grade, GMC.
As entertainment venues reopen across the world, in Spain, performers still aren't playing for their usual audience. A string quartet played in a famed opera venue to a house packed with plants. Barcelona's Liceu Opera House hasn't had a concert since mid-March. So for the first show, the venue filled its more than 2,000 seats with various plants. They were all donated by local nurseries and will then be given to healthcare workers. The concert was also live streamed, so those without leaves could also enjoy the show. Organizers say they hope the concert reminds people to get closer to nature as they return to normal activity.
I hope they enjoyed the show.
Yeah, you'll never know, though, what their thoughts were on it.
That's too funny.
All right, Todd, is it going to be a good day to get out into the garden?
You know, absolutely. Get outside, whether it's gardening, just exercising, or maybe just want to sit in your backyard and enjoy the sunshine. It's going to be a terrific day for any of that. Today, as the humidity is going to remain low and we'll have lots of sunshine, temperatures this morning will be in the 60s generally until about the noon hour. That's when we make the jump up to about 73 degrees for your temperature, and then we'll continue to warm from there. The highs today anywhere generally between about 78 to 82 degrees, so it's a nice sunny seasonable day with just a very, very small chance of a quick passing shower as we get into the evening hours. We'll talk more about that shower chance and look ahead to the rest of the week and into the weekend for you when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:27. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30 on Good Morning Indiana, another deadly night in the Circle City with at least one person killed by gunfire and several others hurt at multiple scenes. What we know so far about these incidents.
Plus, Senator Mike Braun is breaking ranks with his fellow Republicans when it comes to police reform and taking aim at qualified immunity. Working for you, we're breaking down what he's proposing and what it could mean for officers across the country. But before we get to those top stories today, I want to thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick, meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us as well. And Todd, you are describing our Wednesday as wonderful.
Yeah, you know, I think it is going to be, Meredith. We have low humidity, we have sunshine, and temperatures right around 80 degrees. The only little hiccup in the forecast today is going to be the chance of a very quick passing shower later on this evening, but most of us will not even see that. Take a look at your temperatures right now. 64 in Bloomington, 62 in Indianapolis, 59 in Peru, as well as Kokomo. Marion sitting at 57 up there in Grant County this morning. So it's very, very comfortable all across the area. We're going to carry this nice comfortable air mass throughout the entire day. Yesterday we started off muggy and then saw the humidity drop. Today from start to finish that humidity remains very, very low. The sky starting to brighten a little bit on this Wednesday morning, and as we work our way throughout the course of the day, I mentioned that shower chance. Nothing really showing up on radar right now. You have to look real close up towards Minneapolis. That's where there's just a weak little wind shift front that is going to come through, and that's what's going to give us the opportunity for maybe a stray shower as we get past 4 o'clock this evening. But until then, mostly sunny skies and temperatures that'll be approaching 80 degrees for your afternoon high. Lauren.
Todd, thank you. Here's a look right now at traffic. This is at I-65 and Keystone Avenue south of downtown. Traffic in this area is moving along up to speed. We did have some workers out here early this morning, so take it easy as you travel through that spot. This is an ongoing long-term construction project. We'll continue to keep you updated, and we'll let you know if there are any other issues for your commute coming up in my next traffic report.
New this morning, a man is in the hospital after being shot multiple times on the city's northeast side. The man told police he was on Meadowlark Drive near 42nd and Post when two people tried carjacking him. The suspects then reportedly shot the man twice. The victim drove to 38th and Post before meeting IMPD officers. He was taken to the hospital in serious condition. That attempted carjacking is just the latest round of gunfire in the Circle City since late Tuesday night. Just after 9 last night, two Wayne Township firefighters witnessed an incident at Washington Street near Waldemere Avenue. They believe two people in a car went off the road after a shooting, then crashed into a Dollar Tree. Those firefighters immediately rendered aid. Police say one of the victims, a man, died while being taken to the hospital. Then around 10:30, officers were called to a scene on John Marshall Drive near 30th and Mithofer for a shooting. This morning, the victim is listed in good condition. Moments after that, Metro Police were called to Sherman Forest Drive on a person shot. Police found one victim at the scene. That person is expected to survive. And finally, about an hour after that, a second victim showed up at Methodist Hospital.
At 5:34, after weeks of protests demanding action against police brutality, today the Senate will take a vote on the Republican police reform plan. On Tuesday, Indiana Senator Mike Braun broke from his party, introducing his own proposal that includes scaling back qualified immunity. Our Kelsey Anderson explains what this potential reform could mean for you and for police officers.
Well, qualified immunity is a 50-year-old doctrine that protects police officers from civil lawsuits. Some say even when a citizen's rights have been violated. According to federal law enforcement training centers, qualified immunity allows officers to perform their duties without constant fear of having to defend themselves against unjustified claims. They go on to say that qualified immunity allows the public to recover damages when an unreasonable officer violated their rights. They say qualified immunity is designed to protect everyone except those who blatantly violate the law. Critics of qualified immunity say the shield makes it nearly impossible for those who feel they have been wronged to sue for damages. Some Senate leaders want to abolish qualified immunity completely, but Senator Braun says he thinks it just needs to be reformed. Braun's legislation would strip out the clearly established law requirement and instead say the only way you are immune is if there is a state or federal law that says what happened is legal. Braun says this reform will make it easier for the public to win lawsuits. We reached out to Indy's Fraternal Order of Police, and although they say they have not heard from the senator, they are looking forward to reviewing his proposal and sharing their thoughts with him if given the opportunity. The FOP went on to say that in the meantime, they will continue to protect and serve the communities that they were called to. Again, that vote is today, and of course, we will always keep you updated. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus from the Indiana State Department of Health. This morning, health officials report 14 new coronavirus deaths. Since the pandemic started, nearly 2,400 Hoosiers have died from the virus. The health department also confirms 331 new cases of COVID-19. So far, nearly 43,000 people in Indiana have been diagnosed with COVID-19. Indianapolis public school leaders are working to determine if kids will be returning to classrooms in the fall.
The district releasing preliminary results of a survey they issued to parents about COVID-19 and the coming school year. Our own Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning from IPS headquarters. Alyssa, what did the survey results from parents show?
You know what, they showed quite a bit, and one of the key factors that these surveys showed is that 1/3 of the people who responded to the surveys said that they would choose e-learning if the school district was to make it available full-time for this upcoming school year. These surveys also showed that 1/3 of those who responded will also have someone living in their home who is considered at risk for COVID-19. So far, IPS has received more than 4,400 responses from families in the district. They still want more feedback to better make their final decisions about the upcoming school year. The superintendent says they're working to ensure all students have access to devices and internet hotspots if it's needed. She also says making these decisions comes with a lot of challenges. They want to ensure that kids are receiving a quality education while keeping them and their families safe.
There is no lack of complexities when thinking about how you do school when schools have been structured really to maximize efficiencies, maximize collaboration, maximize partnerships, and children being in groups and talking with each other, and now we're having a plan for essentially the opposite.
The Indiana Department of Education is advising school districts to follow CDC guidelines while coming up with their classroom reentry plans. And that survey through IPS is still open right now. That's going to close on Friday. So if you want to take it, you still have a couple days to do so. There is a link available to that on our website, theindychannel.com. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. IPS is also tackling the issue of racial inequality in schools. Tomorrow, the district will hold a virtual town hall discussing race in and outside of the classroom. This conversation will bring together a panel of experts and district leaders. Patricia Payne, the Racial Equity Office Director, says that addressing racial disparities is a top priority. Since 2015, all faculty and staff, including bus drivers and food service employees, have been required to attend a 2-day racial equity training. And come next year, the goal is to have students involved. Tomorrow's town hall is set for 12:30 in the afternoon, and we have more information on how you can register for that. Just go to theindychannel.com.
The Indianapolis Parks Department will offer free summer concerts and movies starting Friday. The screening of The Lion King at Garfield Park begins at 9 p.m. Shows and performances will be held throughout the summer at various Indy parks, including Broad Ripple, Eagle Creek, and MLK. For more information, you can head to parks.indy.gov. Here at 5:39, Todd, I got a little distracted there because I was thinking about just how great the weather is going to be today.
Yeah, find a city park, find a state park, a county park, and get out there and enjoy the nice weather today. And of course, as we start to see all those movies and events take place, hopefully the weather's just as nice as it will be today. So we're going to try to rate the day for you on our scale from 1 to 10, with 10 obviously being the best. Given today about an 8.5, and then the only reason I didn't push it to 9 or 10 is there is a small chance of an isolated shower later on, late this afternoon, early this evening. It's going to be very, very hit or miss. Most people won't see it, but just the fact that it is possible prevented us from getting to that 9 to 10 category. But otherwise, mostly sunny today with lots of sunshine and high temperatures that'll get up to right around 80 degrees. Should be a beautiful day for us today. I think tomorrow is even a little bit better because we take that small rain chance out of the forecast. We'll talk about Thursday and beyond coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. President Trump is celebrating a victory this morning after taking on the hospital industry. Straight ahead, how this could affect your next doctor visit.
And Bill Cosby is heading back to court after the break why a judge is allowing him to appeal his sexual assault conviction. And it is 5:40 on your Wednesday morning. Take a look at the sunrise over the Circle City. We've got plenty more coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Find your new normal with Nucala.
Now a live look at Capitol Hill this morning where high-stakes testimony is expected. As ABC's Alex Prochet reports, a federal prosecutor is expected to tell Congress that Roger Stone was given special treatment before his sentencing.
This morning, the Justice Department under fire, accused of giving a more lenient sentence to Roger Stone, President Trump's longtime friend who was convicted of lying to Congress.
Roger, what's the message you want to send to the committee today?
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Aaron Zelinsky, a prosecutor who worked on the Stone case, is set to testify on Capitol Hill today. In his prepared remarks obtained by ABC News, Zelinsky will tell lawmakers he saw favorable treatment for Stone with his own eyes. And, quote, I was told that the acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Timothy Shea, was receiving heavy pressure from the highest levels of the Department of Justice to cut Stone a break. Zelinsky adding that he was told that Shea was afraid of the president. In response, the Justice Department issued a statement saying Mr. Zelinsky's allegations concerning the U.S. Attorney's motivations are based on his own interpretation of events and hearsay, at best, not firsthand knowledge. Zelinsky and his team recommended that Stone receive between 7 and 9 years in prison. But following tweets from President Trump describing the recommendations as a miscarriage of justice, Attorney General William Barr stepped in, reversing the team's recommendation. Stone was ultimately sentenced to 3 years. Stone is scheduled to report to a federal prison in Georgia next week. Now, the president hasn't said whether he'll pardon Stone, but he did recently say that Stone can, quote, sleep well at night. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
It is 5:45 this morning. President Trump is celebrating a victory after a judge ruled his administration can require hospitals to disclose prices that they privately negotiate with insurers. The president tweeted, quote, "Patients deserve to know the price of care before they enter the hospital. Because of my action, they will," end quote. The president issued the executive order last summer, believing price transparency would reduce health care costs. The plaintiffs, which include 3 medical organizations and 3 hospitals, argue patients could be confused by the rates since they are different than their out-of-pocket obligations.
Arizona firefighters are trying to put out a large fire that stretches over 65,000 acres now. Officials say the Bighorn fire in Tucson is only 33% contained. Lightning sparked the flames in the Coronado National Forest earlier this month. The fire has led to evacuation orders for several communities. No word on how many homes have been impacted. Crews are also battling the human-caused Central Fire burning near New River and another fire north of the Grand Canyon. Here in central Indiana, however, things awfully quiet for our Wednesday, Todd.
Yeah, that's the way we like it, Meredith. We got the needed rainfall early yesterday morning, and then we transitioned into this new air mass that we're sitting in yesterday afternoon. It's carrying over through Wednesday and much of your Thursday as well. Live look outside right now shows we're dealing with quiet conditions as you look off to the west. The zoo's open. You're looking past the zoo there. That'd be a great place to be here later on this afternoon, or maybe just a stroll through White River State Park. All right, there's been a lot of talk about the Saharan dust out there, and it's down in the Caribbean right now. As we work our way throughout the course of the next couple days, it's going to make its way through the Gulf of Mexico into portions of the Gulf Coast, and then eventually, as we work its way into the weekend, or our weekend, you notice that gray color on the map. That is the dust, and you can see it does clip portions of central Indiana. It's probably a little worse the further south you are compared to northern locations. And essentially what this is, it's the dust that gets picked up out of the desert in Africa, and it comes all the way across the ocean. It's all suspended up in the air. It happens every single year. This year, the dust is a little bigger, a little thicker, but essentially it's going to just kind of create a haze in the sky, or a kind of a milky look throughout the afternoon hours and into the evening hours over the weekend. So it'll make for great sunsets. It's just not going to be that bright blue sky throughout the afternoon. The other issue is some people that have respiratory issues may suffer a little bit. But a lot of people, if you're out and about, wearing masks, so obviously that will help things if you have those issues. But it's not something that's completely abnormal. It happens every single year. Just hearing a little more about it this year compared to previous years. Temperatures this morning in the 50s and 60s, 64 in Bloomington, 62 in Indy, 57 in Crawfordsville. The dew points today are in the 50s. That's a very comfortable level for us. You don't have to worry about any humidity. And today we will have that bright blue sky with the lack of humidity, and we're not dealing with the dust as of yet. Now, as we go forward in this forecast, there is the chance of maybe a stray shower later on this afternoon and early this evening. They will be very light. They will be very spotty as they make their way through the area. You really don't have to worry about it. Don't plan around it. Just don't want some of you to be shocked and sending me mean emails and Facebook messages because you got a drop of rainfall. So just know it is a possibility. Outside of that, lots and lots of sunshine. Tomorrow's a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine from start to finish. No threat of any rain. Humidity's still low tomorrow. Temperatures a couple degrees warmer into the low 80s. And then as we work our way into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the humidity comes way, way up. We'll have to deal with that. Temperatures back in the mid to upper 80s, and the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. No days of washout, though. That is the good news if you do have outdoor plans. Most of the storms will just be the pop-up storms during the peak heating of the day. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now. This is I-70 near Ronald Reagan Parkway. You can see traffic there is flowing smoothly. We do want you to know that the eastbound lanes did reopen a few days ahead of schedule, so those have been closed for about a month now between this spot all the way into downtown at the South Split. So you can use both directions of I-70 to our west this morning. The westbound lanes set to close at the end of the week for a month, and we'll keep you updated on that project. Something else just to keep in mind if you're in Johnson County traveling east of Interstate 65, we do have a closure right now from a crash. Johnson County Sheriff's Office and Johnson County 911 Center telling us that this is closing Rock Lane Road near Griffith Road. So there are several kind of side streets. It's a more rural area you can navigate around. This is near University Park. So just keep that in mind. They hope to have that back open shortly, and we'll keep you updated as we get more information.
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court has granted Bill Cosby the opportunity to appeal his 2018 sexual assault conviction. The 82-year-old former actor and comedian was sentenced to prison for drugging and sexually assaulting a former Temple University employee at his home in 2004. The court will take a look at two issues in this case. One focuses on whether the testimony of 5 other accusers should have been allowed. The second issue focuses on the prior district attorney's decision not to charge Cosby a decade ago. Cosby is less than 2 years into his 3 to 10-year prison sentence.
An Indianapolis woman has turned her love of donuts into a full-time job. Up next, our Brad Braun takes us on a sweet tour behind the scenes of Indy Dough. We'll be right back.
Now at Wickerworks right here in Brownsburg.
Welcome back. It is 5:54. For millions of Instagram users and followers, food pictures, they get a ton of likes.
This morning, our Brad Braun introduces us to one Indianapolis woman turning her photogenic donuts into a full-on business, and it's also one of the hottest gets in the city.
There's an old saying that you eat with your eyes. When you see things that are this stunning visually, you can be sure that they taste just as good.
I didn't think it was going to happen as quick as it did, I guess. Yeah, it's just happening a lot faster than I was expecting.
Amanda Gibson is the self-taught baker behind the Indy Dough account on Instagram. More than 4,000 followers and rising, much like some of the dough that's got Circle City donut fans buzzing.
I think that it came from just wanting to have a creative outlet, and I just wanted to do something that was mine in the kitchen, and so baking came to fruition, and then, yeah, Instagram.
The Indiana native was working at a donut shop in Jacksonville, moved back home as a new mom, and to be closer to her family.
So I moved, and I didn't find any donuts here that were like mine, so I decided to go back to the kitchen and redevelop recipes that were my own.
A wildly creative mind and meticulous process have led to a long list of amazing flavors. On this particular day, it's a s'mores old-fashioned with torched marshmallow topping.
With donuts, too, they're kind of like you can put anything on top of them, so that's the other great thing is just anything you want to do. It's a blank canvas.
Amanda's Indy Dough pop-up sales now end up sold out just minutes after she posts the links online. And she's teaming up with other local restaurants for donuts plus just about anything events.
That was another reason why I wanted to start doing Indy Dough, was because I wanted to make contact with more people that were small businesses within the community, and I just wanted to be in the restaurant industry, and this was my way of doing it with the time constraints that I had with also wanting to be a full-time mom.
The Indy Dough Instagram has only been up for about 9 months. Amanda also has cakes, cookies, breads, and more in her repertoire. Just visit Indy Dough on Instagram. Follow for notifications and updates on her next pop-up donut sales. Todd, I'm hoping maybe she sets up shop here at the station. Those look delicious.
Yeah, or somewhere close, right? So we can go on our lunch break. That looks really, really good. And all these Brad Braun, he always brings all that food out, makes you just want to eat it all. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with quiet conditions across the area. As you look in Greencastle, the sun's starting to come up. This morning, we will enjoy lots of sunshine with temperatures that will continue to climb up into the 60s as we work our way throughout the day today. Highs eventually into the 70s and 80s with low humidity. Get out there and enjoy, because the humidity comes back in a big-time way as we work our way into the weekend. We'll talk more about that for you when Good Morning Indiana continues at 6 o'clock when Raphael joins the ladies and I. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.